Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday. Today is April 3rd, Good Friday. Welcome back to Big Happy Trading. I'm sitting here on Friday. I'm not trading. The market is closed. Sitting next to my kids are playing Roblox and was quizzing them about trading. So I thought I did not record any videos this week, and I had a couple requests of people to give them updates. I traded, but I was extremely busy this week. But good week for our 920 strategy. Before we get started, I'm going to bounce around a little bit and telling you guys what I do. I'm not going to try to keep this too long today, but I had some questions on strategy. So you can see this is the market up until when trading stopped this morning. Now I want you to see something. We'll come back to shenanigans of the market, especially when there's low volume here. If you got into, a lot of people are trying to do swings. I do not recommend swing trading with wars and oil going crazy and Trump tweets and we're bombing people and the markets. But even in a huge, when volume is low, you are going to get shenanigans like this. So we're in a downtrend here. You can see even going back, if we go back further from this, it's kind of been a sideways market. But anybody who's trying to go short, look at this one candle, and this was, it's 12:30, so that is 8:10 this morning a.m. on Friday, right before the market closed. Nobody should have been in the market, but if you were and you were short, look at this one candle. This one candle that they did, 30-point candle in low volume on a 5-minute candle. It's probably a 1-minute candle if I go down and look at it, but those are the shenanigans that they play. So if you didn't have a stop set tight, I say trailing stop. This is a scalper's market, at least intraday. Don't stay in over the weekend. Who knows what's going to happen? We may bomb them, and Trump may say something. This market may open up and dump, 1,000 points. I just don't recommend you being in that. But I digress. Let's go back to this week, but let's go back to yesterday. Let's go back to the Asian market and the Asians market really, and the London market really sold off. So you can see here we have this humongous drop. This is the and I want to touch on this one. So this was Wednesday night, and I believe Trump was speaking. So I did make a trade here, and I was in. So the market opened at 2,200. So you're around right here. So I did not take any trades. I was in on this trade as we crossed right here. I got in. I was using the 1-minute candle. Let me look at my other chart and see where I got in. I got in 66.20. So a little bit higher than that. So it was 66.20. I'm not going to be too particular. And I always set my stop at 10, as I tell you guys here. And I got, I got 5 points out of this thing. Because what I did was, and I'm glad I did, is Trump was speaking, so I had him on the other screen. So once this thing went up, I usually wait till I'm up 20 to move stops, or 10 to move stops to break even. But this thing was whipsawing around, and I just did not feel comfortable, and I'm glad. So I had multiple contracts, move 1 to 5 and the others to break even. And man, this is at 9 p.m. and he said, like, we're gonna hit him hard and bomb him. So the market was looking for good news, like this thing could be ending, and he did not give that good news at all. And I'm gonna tell you guys, I got stopped out automatically. I was away from the computer because my kid, we go to bed pretty early. So this was 9 p.m. And then when I looked on my phone, this drop, this was just just this 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, just this 25-minute drop here. How many points are we talking here? So just that drop alone was 70, 60 plus. I mean, that would have been a nice short. You'd have had to been like a ninja to get into this thing. But I mean, soon as the 1 minute candle was giving clues. But again, I didn't get this. It would have been nice to have that trade. I mean, you could have stayed in this thing all the way, you know, all the way down. So anyway, then, so we get this, and then it tries to come back, and then London and those guys, London guys come, and then they dump it back down. So what I always do is I mark the lows, the pre-market lows, and I always mark the highs. And I like to see kind of the range that we're at. So let's look at yesterday. So this was this looked like it was starting to come up in the pre-market. Now I was not in at this time. I was watching this. I almost snipered entry down here at 65.08 on a reverse thing to do, but I didn't. So I was pretty disciplined. So this crossed over. I will not typically get in the market this close to the opening is 1330 just on this chart because this is UTC, guys, just to let you know. So the New York opens at 1330, as you can see at the bottom of my screen. So this thing fires up, fires back down, and then I set an entry right above this red candle. I said if we come back up against this, then I'm going to get back, I'm going to get in this trade long. It's following all of our rules. You know, VWAP is above, the 9 is crossing the 20. So I got in, let me look at the other chart. Let me see my actual charting tool where I got in. So I set my order, I was right above here. So I got in at 65.32. And I had, and even though I should have been below the 20, I don't go more than a 10-point stop. If it comes back and takes me out, it takes me out. That's just my own rule. I don't do it. So I can tell you that I rode this and I set hard targets, and I screwed up, guys. So I screwed up. I took one contract at 10, and I set the other two. I set the other two for 30. I only traded 3 contracts on this one, so because I was doing 15 other things. So it was so I got 10, and I had 3 contracts. So I got some good points out of this one. So I got one contract at 10, and I got 2 at 30. But here's if I would have just stayed in beyond this, look at, there's not enough. I missed maybe one of the biggest trades I could have ever had. That would have been 100. Now, you obviously would not have taken this at the top. I mean, you probably would have as soon as it started going against you. But I mean, still, this could have been an 80, 90-point move. And I missed. I missed 50 points. I don't like to play Monday morning quarterback, but I like to tell you that when you get a strong trending market, especially in the New York or any session, again, the 920 cross is a trending strategy. If you're getting this hogwash, not a good strategy. You're getting all this sideways, which this is not the strategy for you. It's just not. So anyone who sells you something that says this is good, everything you ever do, that's just hogwash. But you can see here, you catch a big downtrend, it goes in. Even small upticks here, you can make money. This was a nice trade here. If you got in here, the 9 crosses this, so I said that we were originally, when this thing went, we were below VWAP, but when this thing, which is not what we don't want, we want to be above VWAP for long, but this had been downtrending so hard, VWAP catching up, so that's really, and that the VWAP is just a confluence, guys. And if you look at the rules and you look at my previous videos, the VWAP is just a confluence with the CCI. We have 4 indicators. Those of you who don't know, you newbies, we have the 9 EMA, the 20 EMA, we have the VWAP, and we have the CCI. On my execution chart, I have the 200 moving average, and that's just another confluence. But really that's just these are just additional confluences. But I mean, so this is a trending strategy, and these trends, and this is based off just a 5-minute chart. I mean, if you go across here, forgive my office line is ringing here on a Good Friday. I've got a landline, which I don't know anyone who still has a landline. Yeah, it's a spammer. Oh, with the signs. Anyway, let's wait till that gets done. There we go. So, quick review. So, New York market had some great profit. Now, I would love that to have been my profit, but the reality is I set a firm order target for 30. So, I was at 30 points. So, let's just do some math. If you made 30 points, if you had $50 of risk and you made 30 points, you made 150 bucks. So, if you're trading ES or you're trading bigger contracts, then I mean, so you can see here, if you were trading, full size here, the I set this wrong. My bad. I got this backwards. We're long here. We went long. Yeah. So my bad. I had a stop set this way. My stop is set there. So I made 30 points, and I just set it firm there. So if you were risking, and when this green bar came in, you would have moved immediately everything to break even. You would not have had any risk on this trade because it didn't go against you at all. But I mean, if you're trading regular contracts, I mean, you were risking $750 and you make $1,800. These are big numbers. Now, for those of you, I strongly recommend, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to trade micros, which is the ES, the MES. On all your trading brokers, you should be able to trade micros, and micros are the way, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Those are the way to go. But I mean, this would have been a quick no risk trade, and if you're trading full size, just one contract, I mean, this would have been a $3,300 trade if you would have taken this to the, let's just say conservatively, to 80 points. This has been a $3,000 trade. I mean, these are this is the power of the 920 EMA. And the thing that you have to do, early in my career, I was making this mistake, is when you have a trade going your direction, do not panic on the first candles. You want to trail your stops. If you have multiple contracts, and the nice thing with the micros is that you can have multiple contracts and still have relatively low risk. And you're going to size up accordingly. You're going to go to, you start with 1, then you're going to go 2, risking 100. You're going to go 3, risking 150. And all of my risk are based on a 10-point stop. So that's why. So if you lose 10 points on one micro, you're losing 50 bucks. That's it. And that's what I base everything on. Now, if you want to be super, and there's guys who will trade this way. If you get this kind of entry, let's look at some examples, since it's Good Friday and I can share with you. And I'll do this once in a while as well. If I get, let's look at this cross here. Let's say you got in this cross here. So we're coming out of this, and then you're crossing here, and say you wanted to get in, and you wanted very, very, very little risk here. And I've set trades like this. So let's just say you want to get in. Let's say you got in on this, and maybe you're on this retrace right here. Let's say you got in on that retrace right there, and you want to go short because it's a downtrend. You could say, okay, if this thing comes back up even to this 20, I'm out. You could set this at 5. Okay, you could have your same risk and trade 2 contracts and still have a $50 risk. On one micro, if you lose 5 points, it's 25 bucks. So if you're risking 2 contracts, and this comes down to, management. If you're gonna take the same risk of $50 and be able to put 2 contracts, your RR goes up significantly. Because if you look at this trade, This thing went 20. You went 20, 28 points. Let's just say you even this scared you to death on this candle coming back on you here, coming back. But I mean, you still got 18, 20 points on this thing. So if you got 20 points, your RR is, you're 4-to-1. Your risk to reward ratio is 4-to-1 here. So these are all the small nuances of trading that you're going to have to learn, and you're going to have to decide. There's a lot of people who like to take these smaller trades. Now, there's good and bad with that. Typically, these will move slower, and this is a pre-market. This is the end of London going into New York, and New York this is where the lunacy happens. So big moves, but those can be faster moves, which means you want to keep your size fairly small so you don't get hammered. So that's the problem with the New York. So quick review on the this week. I traded 2.5 days. We had a profitable week. One day was break even. Asian session last night, the previous night, I broke even, and had a pretty good win here, and I think a pretty good win on Monday. And I'd have to pull up. I'm not going to go and pull up all the trades, but here's what I want to verify. When you're setting into the new day, when you're starting trading, and I've been trading multiple sessions. I've been trading the New York, the Asian. And since time change in the UK, it was 4 a.m. Eastern time, and I was getting up for that. But now it's 3 a.m. Eastern, so I'm not. That's ridiculous because I have to have some sleep. So I'm basically trading New York in the Asian session. I wanted to go over. So this Asian session when Trump was speaking. Let's look at this. So this is the second at 0:45. Let's look at the 1 minute and go to this. So 1 second. Let me go all the way back here. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this was here. I know that's gonna. I don't want to muddy the water, you guys. Let's keep this simple. Let's keep it simple. So, anyway, quick. What I always like to do, especially going into the New York Open or even going into the Asian market, I like to mark the high and the lows. So we kind of have an area, a box of where the market's trading. Now this is a huge range. You're looking at from 65.03 to 66.0, 100 and plus point range is ridiculous. The last thing I want to touch on so let's look at oil. So oil on this drop. So we're going to look at oil on the 5 minute. And for those of you who don't remember, I will when I'm got my charts open and I'm ready to go, which I wasn't for this. When the indices are going down, oil is usually screaming north, especially this. So let's look at oil real quick. And I trade the MES and I trade oil right now, especially given this volatile market. That's all I do. So, U.S. oil. So, when the market goes down, look what in the world. Oil went to 114. So, now this is going into the open. The market was going down. We saw that the S&P was going down. So soon as the S&P started to rip north, okay, S&P ripped up 100 points, right? And what did oil do? Oil fell from 113 down to a humongous drop. So if you missed the long and you saw something ripping on that, you could jump in and short oil, which I'll do a lot of times. If I miss a ripper, they go pretty close to the same times, but some of these drops can be, pretty dramatic. And I'll trade smaller size, tighter stops. But I would tell you this is something you guys should look at. I know there's people who trade gold. gold for me is just, this is just, I don't know, just not my thing. I've looked at gold, I look at silver, and this is why I think, I know, and this is going to sound weird to some of you people who don't trade, I trade one instrument. I trade this S&P 500. I can anticipate how this moves. I feel how it moves, and I know that sounds weird. And there are people who only trade the NASDAQ and they like the NASDAQ. The reason I don't like the NASDAQ is the NASDAQ is extremely violent. In the points, it moves very similar. You can see this looks like identical chart to the YM. However, where you'll get some differences is on the tech stocks and different things. It's a smaller pool, and it just moves too fast for me. I don't like it. I like the ES. It's more predictable, and I would tell you, if you are a relatively new trader, even if you're a seasoned trader and you don't like the speed of that, but you still like the big moves, you can make the money you want trading the S&P 500. So I know it's a long video and I'm kind of rambling. I didn't have any set format, but I just wanted to do a quick review. I had some people message me and ask me directly about trading this week. Short week. Happy Easter. For those of you fellow Christians there, God bless you. We're having a beautiful day here in the Midwest, and my family and I'll be going to service, Good Friday service tonight, and church on Sunday, and may you be blessed, and please like and subscribe. My son wants to see my channel grow, and if you can leave a comment, that really helps. And if you have any questions, message me below. I will give you, if you email me directly, I will send you all of my trading rules for the 920 EMA cross. I've had several people I've already sent it to. I had some questions on whether or not I'm going to do live trading on YouTube. I don't know. I'm not very skilled in running a YouTube live. My son asked me about it. I actually may play with it today and see if I can test it. The more likely I'm probably going to do, I do a lot of Zoom meetings and I have an unlimited Zoom. I may invite select people to sit and trade with on screen via a Zoom call. So if I do that, I will I'll kind of do a video and I will send out details. Let me know if you're interested in live trading with me. I am not a trade service. I am not going to tell you, I'm not giving you trade signals. I will tell you what I see, and I will share with you, when I do execute trades. But whether you win or whether you lose is on your own. I am not a trade service. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. So I'm a profitable trader. I've had success. I have a very simple system. If you do not have a simple process and simple system, you cannot execute quickly. If you have 73 indicators and you're waiting for all these different things to happen, you cannot be a profitable trader. This is a simple strategy based on simple rules and simple execution. If you're in, you're in. You're out, you're out, and you don't deviate from those. So that's it. The 1 minute chart, when you start milling through here, we're not going to get into that. But if you're interested and want to possibly trade with me next week, message me. Maybe I can we can set up a Zoom for just a few of us to to fire some bullets at it. And even if you're not trading, to see me execute live, I will not show you my until I figure out how to hide it. I'm not going to show my my actually brokers. I don't think that's it's got my account number and all that good stuff. So I don't, not that I don't trust you YouTube people, but putting my information out there is, I think for hackers and skilled people to come after me would not behoove me. All right, I'm coming up on 25 minutes. I ramble on way too much. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We'll go from there. Take care. Having a great day. Bye-bye.